a common sense solution that will pass overwhelmingly, that will once again bring the United States of America on par with the rest of the Western world.
That was John Echols on Wednesday. Now it's John Echols on Sunday, talking about State Question 834, citizens only voting. The question I have is it necessary?
Yeah, this is State Question 834, which will be on your ballot to vote on. We'll make it clear that only citizens can vote in Oklahoma elections. It is necessary. This is an issue that's going on, and 20 other cities in the United States already allow non-citizens to vote. So what this would do is give you, the voter, the ability to decide whether or not you want to put it in our Constitution. This is going to pass overwhelming. I mean, this is an 85% issue. It's a 70% issue among Democrats. The fact that we have to have this conversation shows how far the national conversation has changed, but this is a really easy one. I'm proud to support it, and I'm proud that you, the voters, are going to get your opportunity to have your voice heard.
And they are. It's on the ballot. You'll be voting on it in November. And Jason, your thoughts about this particular state question?
Yeah, what we're talking about, State Question 834, again, you'll have a chance to vote on in November. And what my colleague said, that there were 20 cities that allowed this. None of those 20 cities are in Oklahoma. This has never happened in Oklahoma. It's already a felony in Oklahoma as a non-resident to vote in Oklahoma. It's in our Constitution that you cannot vote unless you're a citizen of the state of Oklahoma. This is just one of those solutions trying to find a problem, as far as I'm concerned. But what I would tell you is, for my Republican friends, this is their way this election to make elections great again.
Just going to let that one hang there for a second. That's funny. I don't care who you are on that one. All right. Now, we're going to be talking about something a little more serious, which is the Supreme Court hearing arguments with the state of Oklahoma. The Attorney General siding with Richard Glossop's attorneys. Even though the Attorney General believes he's guilty, there was a big hearing this week at the Supreme Court. Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it was a big hearing this week, and what we're talking about is justice. We've talked about this a lot on the show. As a former state legislator, I worked a lot on criminal justice reform. I worked a lot on trying to reform the death penalty here in the state of Oklahoma. I am not a fan of the death penalty. I think that life in prison without parole is a just sentence. What this is about is, did the case, was it handled correctly? Was all the evidence available? And what I think our Attorney General is saying is no. And so as a citizen, I'm glad to see that there will be an opportunity for justice eventually in this case.
Earlier in there, we talked with Alex Cameron. It was a great conversation about the ins and outs of the hearings. But John, your thoughts about what this means?
Yeah, so this is a very complicated question. I actually agree with the Attorney General. I think Richard Glossop is guilty. I think looking at the facts of the case. But the General's point is there were boxes of evidence that were discovered that weren't turned over during the trial. And at a bare minimum, what it means to be a conservative is we stand for your constitutional rights. We believe those need to be protected. That's why we are in the positions that we're in and care about those issues. And what the General is saying is Richard Glossop didn't get a fair trial. This has gone all the way up to the Oklahoma Supreme Court. While I still think that Richard Glossop is guilty and something needs to happen, I respect the General's position and what he's doing.
All right, and the court works really slow. It could be spring before we know anything. Thanks for watching. Your vote counts. See this again at news9.com and news on6.com, and follow me at Mitchell Talks.